Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Say, why was the Army so tired on April 1st? They just finished a 31-day march. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Waterloo Solitaire, the board game from Worthington Games.
We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review.
In Waterloo Solitaire, board game edition from Worthington Games, one player takes on the role of either Napoleon or the Duke of Wellington at the iconic 1815 battle. Now, this, of course, is a re-implementation of the Waterloo Solitaire book war game that Worthington came out with a while ago. Here, of course, you have dice, you have cards, you have wooden blocks, and you have a mounted board. Now, the first thing you're going to do is select which side you want to play. Do you want to play Wellington or do you want to play Napoleon? You're going to go ahead and shuffle the appropriate deck and set it off to the side. You're going to draw a number of cards. Depending on the difficulty level that you want, you can choose between 5, 6, or 7 card hands during this game. Now you're going to go ahead on the various spaces. You're going to place the blocks for the French and the British. The Germans, the Prussians under Blucher, are going to be off board at the beginning of the game. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select one of the cards from your hand each turn. You're going to have an option to do combined arms. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but essentially you select the card you want to play. You don't immediately carry it out, however. Next, you're going to go ahead, you're going to roll a die, and it's going to tell you on the chart exactly what happens, essentially what the enemy does to you. Do they attack? Do they do something else? So you're going to go ahead, you're going to resolve that attack, and that may have implications for what you were attempting to do on your turn. And it may force you to look at the enemy's tactics chart, which give you other important battlefield events. Once you have resolved what the enemy is going to do to you, you go ahead and you can play your card. Now, the different cards you can play is you can essentially do attacks with your corps, your first corps or second corps against the British lines or vice versa. You can launch cavalry raids against the different enemies on the board. You can fire artillery at the enemy to try to weaken them there. The British player can also try to bring the Prussians into the battle. Essentially, you play that, you're going to have opportunities to try to bring in the Prussians on the right side of the game board. Now, regardless of which side you're playing, the French always want to roll low, the British always want to roll high. So you can go ahead and you're going to apply any bot modifiers that happened when you rolled for the bot. But also, too, you may have some multipliers as well. For instance, you can do combined arms. Essentially, when you do combined arms, you can take one card, your infantry or cavalry or whatever, and then you have to play another card that from a different branch there and move the combined arms track down. And that's going to give you a plus or negative modifier depending on which side you're playing in order to help you with that particular battle. But you only have a limited number of times that you can do that. Now, each side, too, has a leader card, either a Napoleon or a Wellington card, which essentially allows you to go through the discard pile and grab a card you've already played to play it again. Now, at the end of that turn, you draw your hand back up. If the deck runs out, you don't reshuffle. You just can use the cards in your hand. You also go ahead and you advance the turn marker on the turn track. So the player goes through the sequence. They draw cards. They roll a die for the bot action. They resolve the bot action. They resolve their own action. They're drawing up their cards once again, and they are advancing the turn marker each round. The French will win if they can eliminate 2 of the formations, either the right wing, the left wing, or the reserves of the British. And the British can win by eliminating all of the units in the French First Corps or the Second Corps. Now, the French can also lose if ever at the end of their turn there are 7 Prussian units on the game board, or if the game track gets all the way to the end of turn 18 and the French haven't won, then the British will win. Regardless, if you can fulfill your victory objectives, then you win. Waterloo Solitaire, Board Game Edition. So Waterloo Solitaire Board Game Edition, of course, is the re-implementation of the Waterloo Solitaire book game that Worthington came out with a while ago. And I really enjoyed it. For a long time, it was my favorite of the book war games. Eventually, Coral Sea Solitaire took the cake. I really like that one. But Waterloo, this is a battle I'm just tremendously interested in. I did a big project in one of my courses in grad school. I did a Napoleonics readings course, which is really good. And we, had to do a big paper, and I did mine on Waterloo. I read about 10 books on Waterloo and wrote a paper on it. It was really a lot of fun. It was work, but it was fun, right? Because I've always been fascinated with this battle. There are certain battles that to me have just always captured my imagination, and Waterloo was certainly one of them. And so this was probably my favorite. This was my favorite book war game until Coral Sea came out. I was very excited to see this get the full board game treatment because it is such a fun game. It is a tough game. This is a hard game. I rarely win this game. I think I probably played this between the war game, the book war game, and the board game. I probably played Waterloo Solitaire maybe 20 or 30 times. I think I've won like twice. I mean, it is a hard game to win, but it's one of those games too. When you do win, it's like, yes, you know. I like it too because it's quick, you know. And this board game, there's not a whole lot of setup, and it moves pretty quickly, and it's boom, 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 yeah, boom, 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 bah, and it works. There's a lot of luck here, to be sure. This is a luck heavy game. There's a lot of luck in this game. A lot of luck with the cards you draw, with the roll of the dice, and of course with the what the enemy is going to be doing. It's a tremendous amount of luck. But why I like this game and why I like the Book of War games and games like this is because I think they just tell great stories. And it's like you feel a bit like Wellington. My left flank's giving way. We got to send in the reserves, or no, maybe we just need to leave it for now and hope nothing happens, hope nothing breaks. Or the Prussians are coming. Yes, we're saved. Or if you're Napoleon, the Prussians are coming. I just love it. Just fun. It lets you in a very short, simple way kind of relive that battle without all the blood and guts. Thank heavens. But I get a kick out of it. This is just a super fun game. It's light, it's chancy, and it is fun. Man, I really like this game quite a bit. I may at some point do a live playthrough of this one because it's just so much fun. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess you know where I'm coming from because I'm babbling. Recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Waterloo Solitaire Board Game Edition is yes, yes, yes. Buy it. If you can't get this one, get the book one, but it's a great game. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history, fun things like that. I even post some of my lectures on that channel. It would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe to that channel as well. Also, please leave a thumb for us on Board Game Geek for this video. That helps us out a lot. And if you really do like the content we bring to you here, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever get locked out of your house, just talk to the lock calmly, because communication is key. Somebody